the third largest city in the country by the next census. Harris County is the second largest Latino community in the country. The only area where there's more Latinos is Los Angeles County, right? And so you're sitting in a city where you're the second largest Latino community in the country. Now, why is that important? I think it's a very easy case to make. I like stats, and so I think a lot of people, Dr. Flores, Gene, and Dr. Garcia, they've all sort of motivated sort of the emotional why it's important to be here. I'll give you some numbers why it's here. Again, it's an easy case to make that Texas is the most important state in the country, and Houston Hispanic is the most important demographic in the country, right? That's a crazy statement. Let me say why. So to win is, let me state, I'm about to give some politics, right? And so this is absolutely not a Republican or Democrat organization. It's a nonpartisan organization. But to paint the picture, I'm going to have to use the words Republican and Democrat, and by no means am I advocating either party. So let me state that. We want to talk about that. We can talk about that afterwards. So to win the presidency, you need 270 electoral votes, right? People familiar with that?
Yep.
So who has the most electoral votes in the country? 55. Who is that?
California.
Who has the second? New York.
Texas.
And New York is third with 29. So here's the thing. This November, this year, probably starting right now, you're going to have both parties, Democratic Party and the Republican Party, campaigning in Texas. That's the first time it's really going to have happened, at least since I've been around, right? And so what happens if, so California votes reliably Democrat, New York votes reliably Democrat. Texas has historically voted reliably Republican. What happens if Texas is up for grabs, or what happens if Texas turns Democrat? You add this up, 122 divided by 270 equals 45%. So if Texas turns Democrat, there is no math where a Republican can win the presidency for generations, right? So what that means is, as Texas starts coming up for grabs, and it's starting to come up for grabs this November, it may not be won by a Republican, but it's starting to come up for grabs. As Texas comes up for grabs, Texas is the most important state in this country, again, because if it flips, you have a Democrat in the presidency for generations, right? There's no math that you can overcome this 45%, right? You have to get 50 plus 1% to win the presidency. So now, what is in Texas? What's the largest city in Texas?
Houston.
What percent of Houston is Latino?
48 now, or 46.
I'm going to put approximately 50%. Houston is approximately 50% Latino, right? You don't win Texas without winning Houston. I wish I could say you don't win Houston without winning Latinos, right? That's not the case right now.
Unfortunately.
We could talk about why that's not the case. One of the boards that I'm on is the Voters of Houston, and that's very passionate, and I know we have some people in here very passionate about voting. We can talk about that. But at this point, you can win Houston without winning Latinos. So if Latinos were to get motivated, if Latinos were to get engaged, if Latinos were to come out and vote, then Latinos in Houston are the most important demographic in the United States of America. And we're starting the Leadership Institute here. You guys are the first cohort. So again, I don't think I can overstate how important it is for you guys to be here. So now that I've painted the numbers of why Texas is the most important, you guys, Hispanic leaders, are the most important in the country. There's 3 different areas of leadership that we can discuss. We can talk political leadership, nonprofit leadership, and for-profit leadership. So we've alluded to this a lot. Julie Estepes did a study about nonprofits in Texas. So if you have, I'll just give some of the numbers. The top 100 nonprofits. Number 100 controls $750 million. Number one controls $7 billion. You add all this up, if the number 100 nonprofit controls 750 million, number 1 controls 7 billion, add all that money up, that's a massive amount of money being spent in Texas. That's billions of dollars being spent in Texas. What do nonprofits focus on? They tend to focus on the underserved communities, right? What percentage of Texas, the underserved in Texas are Latino or African American? I don't know the exact number, but it's probably somewhere in the 70 to 80% range, right? Something like 90% of HISD is Latino or African American. 90% of HISD is on a free and reduced lunch, right? So a good amount of this billions of dollars is being spent in Texas on Latinos. Why is that significant? Of these 100, don't quote me on the exact number, but something like 0% Latinos on the board. Of the top 100 nonprofits in Texas have not one single Latino on it, right? Something like 40 more have less than 10% Latinos. The state of Latinos leadership on nonprofit boards in Texas is dire. It's crisis, right? It's awful. If it's bad on nonprofits,
we have a report. We have a report, and actually, I'm thinking we can post both of these reports, both Juliet's and Dr. Colon.
Dr. Colon did a report. I don't remember those numbers off the top of my head, but this is worse.
Abysmal.
It's worse, much worse than the nonprofit, right?
We can post both of those.
So now let's talk about politics. Again, Houston is 50% Latino, 16 city council members, one of 16 city council members. The most powerful, arguably the most powerful political elected position in Texas, a Houston, Harris County, is a county commission. 0 of 4 county commissioners. So this is city council. This is commissioners. And there's at least 9 congressional seats that touch Houston.
0.
0 of 9.
0.
U.S. representative. I can go on, right? So look at this, right? Leadership in Houston, in Texas, political, nonprofit, and for-profit. This is crisis, right? And again, Houston Latinos are the most important demographic in this country. So that's my motivation for you, how important it is for you to be here, how important it is for you to focus and really give everything you have here. This is the very first class, which means that we're not going to do everything perfect, right? So a lot of how good the HHLI is going to be dependent on how much energy, how much passion you're going to be willing to throw at it. And so, again, it's one of the reasons why I left a very successful board because I really wanted to focus here, right? And so I'm very proud to be here. I'm very proud to be associated with leading this project. And so now